All right, guys, it's Friday, starting the weekend, right? In here warming up on the bench press. So what I got some bruise. Let me take my cuffs off, and I'll show you the bruise. Actually, I don't even know if you can see it. Let me play with the light a little bit. Let's see. Right in that circle right there. Nice little bruise. I'm not for sure what you can see actually on the camera, but torn from up here, nice and sore, and bleeding out down here. So I've done it feels not bad. I can turn my hand over today. I don't want to go all the way over. Starting this weekend, I will start a little more aggressive therapy work, turning the hand over, getting the bicep to twist, and while smashing a little bit as well, because I need to regain as much range of motion in that bicep as I can, as quickly as I can. I don't need to let it heal incorrectly. I'm doing everything that I know I can possibly do to facilitate the healing process with this. So yeah, non-stop. I've done so much manipulation on this arm. I've got acne breakouts everywhere, just from the creams and everything that I put on it. So I am here at the gym. I know that I have to avoid maximum output from all areas. It means I can't use maximum bands. I can't use maximum chains. I don't need to be in my shirt going crazy. Too many things can go wrong all at once. I do feel a lot of stiffness all throughout the shoulder, the front, the side, under the armpit, all the way down under the arm, where everything is connecting. So I need to be careful, but I need to get some work in. So let's see what I can do. I got ZZ Top still on the radio. That worked on Wednesday. Maybe they have serious healing bicep, 3 people in ZZ Top. 3 + 2 is 5. 5's a magical number. I don't know. Anyway, let's get cuffed up. Let's get moving. Alright, bench press. Got through unscathed. That's the big thing. Nothing hurts worse than it did before, I don't think. The entire, probably square from here across, same section on the back and over. Doesn't feel great. But can't expect to do. There's been an injury in that area, and that bicep kind of connects everything together. So this last set with 315, I did not need to take that at all. The set with 2 plates was 335 at the top with the bands on, and that was fine. 315 is it's more in my head, and then reactively you're taking more weight off off your chest than you are with the lighter weight and the bands added. How much? Who knows? But this set was just in my head, and you can see me as I was pressing on the way out. You know, I just gave up with my left arm, and as the press got easier, I actually kind of decelerated and pressed less. That happens with a lot of people. I've got a couple of clients that do that with Atlas stones. A couple guys do that with squats, bench, and deadlift. As the weight gets easier, they try less. And you have to yell at them to tell them, you know, do it like you mean it, all the way through full acceleration. So, you know, I didn't do that here, and that's probably fine. I could tell that as I was pushing, as I could feel that this side was okay, I only pushed as much as I had to, not as much as I should. So I rounded that off, racked it back in the rack. So I'm going to take a couple of minutes, let everything cool down, switch the rack around, do some inclines, see how those are going to feel on warm-ups. Nothing else, do a bunch of reps at lighter weights, and then some triceps and get out of here. So let's start rearranging the gym. Is it love taking me downtown? Clean tummy. Elbows feel good though. Ooh. Lord have mercy. Doesn't like that at all. I'd like to get a pump in there though. That right one. Okay, last one. Twist and squeeze. Just a little. Won't squeeze. All right. Keep these here. Guys, not a bad Friday, all things considering. You know, I was thinking about this. When you guys see a training session like this today, obviously everything was not magical up to par. I didn't get in my 4 bench press shirts. I didn't use super duper, you know, triple heavy bands. I didn't, you know, bench press a bunch of weights. You know, I didn't do a lot of the crazy stuff that I enjoy doing. So when you're seeing stuff like what I did today, what I want you to pick up is that I salvaged a day that could have been me sitting at home doing nothing, you know, recovering my injury. It could have been a day where I came in the gym and just said, you know what, this is my plan. This is what I've written down to do. This is what I'm absolutely 100% going to do. I'm going to tough this out. And then I make the injury a lot worse. A lot worse. And it makes things, everything change for the next many months. So, I mean, I know with my bicep, I know I can feel it on everything that I do. I mean, I can feel it turning my hand over anytime I have to move my thumb or pick my fingers up. I can definitely feel it. So I know it's there. I can feel it on every movement. I know that the lack of me moving it with full force is going to cause a whole series of muscles everywhere in my body to get kind of out of shape and lose a little bit of strength. So I've got to find ways to, work everything as best as I can. So, what I want you to see today is, well, chances are if you're watching these videos, you and I have a lot in common. I'm over 40, so, but, I have 2 kids, I have a house payment. We don't have any car payments because we both drive really old cars. We're just that kind of people, I guess, not really car people. We like point A to point B, and we want them to function really well. And that's really all that we need. But we spend money on stuff for the gym, and my wife's still going to school, and work and businesses and our kids, and we never get enough sleep. Oh my gosh, we never get anywhere near enough sleep. But the idea is to come in here in the gym, and when things are less than optimal, and like today it's much less than optimal, to still be able to have a day that allows the progress to flow. I want to continue making progress. So, when you look at me on bench press, I went back down to the lightest bands that I have, excuse me, which are the doubled yellows, which are still stronger than the Elite FTS mini bands, the pink red ones. So these are adding 110 pounds at the top. It's the smallest ones that I've got. I used 1 plate because that's as much as I was willing to sacrifice at the bottom of the lift. That's for me where the lift is the most explosive. And I know that, I'm coming baby, if the lift is really explosive off the chest, then when I make the turn, it's going to twist that pec a little bit. That shoulder's going to continue to lock in. And if I don't lock in my triceps and lats perfectly and spread the bar, so I like to use a lot of closer, weaker grips. The wider that grip is, I can spread the bar. The closer the grip is, the more it's going to be straight. With a lot less lats, not as efficient, the more likely I am to use that bicep. The more likely that I am to use the bicep, the more likely that I am to injure it severely. That was a lot of words to get to one little fraction of a sentence. First several sets, probably 6 to 7 sets, I definitely felt everything. Probably around set 9 or 10, I started feeling a little bit better. And by the 15th set, I could feel that I was slowing down, but I was hurting less. And the idea of the dynamic effort, continuing to do the sets, is I want the bands and the weight to be forcibly slowing me down. And I want to continue to do sets with a very short rest period until I can no longer be as explosive as I need to be. So just going in and doing 5 sets of 2, 5 sets of 3, and all of them real explosive, that's a demonstration. That's not building. Okay, don't do a demonstration in your training. That's for meet day. Actually train, build on training days. I did get this wild air and thought, you know what, I'll add a half plate, see how that feels. So 185 plus the bands, or just 275. No, 185, 285. Holy cow, 295 at the top. That's not bad at all. That felt really smooth. Felt really good with a plate and a half. And then I went to 2 plates, which makes it 225 plus 110, 335. Didn't feel bad, but it's in my head to move slow and with caution. And that really defeats the purpose of what I'm trying to do. Once again, I began displaying and demonstrating rather than training. Really wanted to just bench 3 plates just to say, oh yeah, I feel pretty good. I already benched 3 plates. And I definitely can. Unracked it. The balance is great. The weight is fine. But like I said earlier, it was in my head to only push as hard as needed to complete the lift. And I just sort of wussed out and just gave it a half-hearted effort with my left side. And it actually became kind of funny as I was pressing. Moved on to inclines. The safest bet is to stick with my 8s. My 8s are a standard 1 plate per side. I did 3 sets of 8 with different grips, most all of them close. My closer grips may be becoming my stronger grips on these. Might be. They're definitely faster. Most strongmen will be better with a closer grip. which brings up the point, should you be training your close grip if you're a strong man? If it's your weakest grip, maybe focus on your weakest grip. Or if it's your strongest grip. Anyway, focusing on weak grip or not. So then I've got it on the board back here. My weight that I use for 5s normally, which is what I wanted to move to after my 8s, is 175 pounds. And that's a set, so I can use 175 for 6 sets of 5. That's how I've calculated that out. But I went ahead and moved up to my sets of 4s, which was 185 pounds, knocked out 3 sets there. All 3 of those sets were probably PRs. 3rd set was probably the best. Felt really good. And then I did actually put 207 on the bar. And then as I was walking to the bench, it hit me that I didn't need to do that at all. It wasn't going to serve any growing purposes. It was probably going to set me up for failure. And the slightest bit of strain could throw that entire pec and shoulder completely out of whack and set me back a long time. So then I went in the back room, did a bunch of triceps with the cables. Those are absolutely wonderful. If you haven't tried those, set those up and give those a try on your local cable machine. My triceps, man, from rear delt, delt side delt, all the way down and around to my elbows were just swollen like crazy. I need to do something for biceps anyway, just period. I had my dumbbells in here. That's the first weights that I've ever had as a human. And I guess I would have been 8 years old, and I've still got them all these years later. A pair of 5 kilo dumbbells. In America, when I was 8 years old, and a pair of 5 kilo dumbbells. How rare is that? But just doing the curls, the stability stuff, you can look where that arm, that's just, I'm trying to turn it, but it's not going to want to turn. So, I mean, that's that bicep does not want to rotate it out. I've got to work on physically getting that wrist, thumb, and bicep to rotate. And then I've got to start smashing everything down here to keep it as mobile as possible. So that's essentially my training session for today. I talked a long time. But if you took the time to watch this training session, you're also the kind of person that really wants to learn. And I want you to learn. I want you to understand the whys of what I'm doing, because whenever you find yourself in a similar situation, I want you to be able to do the exact same thing. Pull it out of your back pocket and say, hey, I remember this one time when Clint had an injury. This is what he did. I'm going to do something similar. Hope this helps, guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Sunday.